since apparently the cattle and the tortoise get along perfectly fine over time, and have. Last time I checked, cattle don't eat tortoises or vice versa. Every other rancher was squeezed out. Every other human activity, for the most part, was squeezed out in these hundreds of thousands of acres, but Bundy won't move. Now let's step back and take a look at this more broadly. There's this push in this country through the Interior Department, the EPA, even through NOAA, variety of other departments and agencies and offices. There's a push in this country to nationalize private property. There's a push in this country to move human beings off of these large swaths of land, whomever remains, even a Bundy. Ask commercial fishermen what's happening to them. They're being put out of business by the federal government. Ask coal miners what's happening to them. They're being put out of business by the federal government. Ask steel workers what's happening to them. Ask men and women, union, non-union, who wish to build these pipelines from Canada or even across the country, what's happening to them. Ask the farmers in Central Valley, California, what's happening to them. Ladies and gentlemen, this environmental movement is a Marxist movement. At the top and within the bureaucracy. They are trying to shut down industries that are crucial to our form of, to our lifestyle, and they are trying to, to limit productivity and expansion. And they control the reins of government. This is why so many Americans are sympathetic for Clive Bundy. They see that he's been caught in a bureaucratic and legal quagmire. So to simply say what he's doing is illegal, that's not enough. How did this come to pass? Why, after all this time of grazing on this land, did they stop him? Did they seek to put him out of business and all the rest of them? This isn't simply a matter of following a court order, although I would recommend you do. It's not that. It's bigger than that. This is an assault on our way of life. You may look at Clive Bundy. The vast majority of us have no idea where he even lives, other than watching TV. We've never been there. The vast majority of us, not all of you listening, I get that, but the vast majority of us have never grown anything like farmers. We've never had to raise livestock. We've never had to drive trucks to bring produce or livestock to the grocery store, where it's conveniently wrapped and weighed and you take it home and use it and cook it and so forth. There's all kinds of things that go on to putting food on your table. There's all kinds of things that go on when you flick that switch and the light comes on. There's all kinds of things that go on when you say, you know what, I'm not going to eat meat. I only eat fish. Somebody has to catch it and process it and preserve it and transport it and present it. And this entire system is under assault. It's under attack. Through federal regulations, through federal agencies and federal departments. And they're being pushed and prodded by organizations on the left, by politicians on the left, and by bureaucrats who've weaseled their way into the federal bureaucracy to use regulations to attack these enterprises, to attack these individuals, to attack this way of life. That's why people are furious. Meanwhile, if you want to build a massive solar energy farm, and by the way, that's what's required, a massive amount of land in the middle of the desert where the tortoise is. Or if you want to build wind turbines, and you need a hell of a lot of them to make a difference, even mass transit cutting through a desert, you're going to have a hell of a lot easier time. So my question is this to the BLM. Now that we know the desert tortoise is no longer endangered, why don't you stop treating this land as conservation land and let the ranchers back on, and their cattle, and everybody else? Because the original basis for the classification doesn't even exist anymore. But they won't do it. No. Instead we'll be told, the rule of law, baby! I'm not against the rule of law, but I'm also not in favor of the abuse of power. I'll be right back.
Mark Levin.